Hey folks, it's Chrissie here with another pod from our community, and we're here with Aunty Karen. Hey Aunty Karen,
Hello.
how's your week been?
Not too bad so far.
Excellent, excellent. So, if you've already looked at our feed on the TikTok or the YouTube channel, you'll have seen that we've posted the last topic we've been talking about is anxiety. And things following on from that, which is be our next pod. But we've talked about what anxiety is, what causes anxiety, what the psychology is behind anxiety disorder, what types of situations trigger anxiety, and anxiety recovery. So, Karen, anxiety. We know there's different types of anxiety. There's different thingies, but the treatment all comes down essentially. CBT therapy is usually the first point of call, lifestyle changes, and sometimes medication also. Would you agree? Or you've worked in mental health for over 25 years, you may know.
I agree with all those, but also sometimes what you have taught me over the years is mindfulness and breathing.
That's not on the doctor's agenda. So when you go to see a doctor about anxiety or anything, the first point to call, talk therapy, CBT therapy, medication. They might advise you to change your lifestyle, modifications. Do you know of any other therapy styles that have been used, for example? Or have you used any techniques yourself? Have you suffered anxiety? I'm sure you must have done. I think all mothers have,
Yeah.
at least.
Bringing up children, we all have the same kind of anxieties, what harm and stuff or the hurt and stuff. But you have to let them be children growing up. When they get to adulthood and they're going out drinking with their friends and stuff like that, then the anxiety in yourself gets higher because you're like, oh, they're safe, oh, okay, to the point where
You can't sleep until they get in, if
yeah,
they're still at home.
that's it. It's like you go to bed, but you like say can't get sleep until you hear that key in the door
Yeah.
in the coming and the adult.
And that's real anxiety, isn't it? I mean, like we're saying,
It is because
there's
your
different
heart.
types of anxiety, but that for a mother or a parent, that is real anxiety. When your child is out, whether they're a child or an adult, even when they're left home, you feel like your protective wings aren't around them anymore. You cannot reach them, so to speak, because they are free to do what they want to do. You still worry about them though, don't you? And if you know they're in a
Well,
situation in their lives, you still get that worry, that concern. But that is for some people, I mean, it's a normal thing. But for some people, that could turn into an anxiety thing, couldn't it? Because they are, so in their head, they're so worried about the situation for the child, or they're so worried about what, even, I mean, we're talking about that, but it can also be work situation, financial situations, trauma situations, if people have suffered past trauma, can affect them with their anxiety also.
without doubt, without doubt.
But real
Um,
anxiety, we saw it, or we knew about it. I don't think we put a word on it or anything, but our mother, I mean, they called it nerves, but
yeah,
it's like anxiety and all them stuff, the Valium.
yeah. Well, that was
And then
back in
she,
the day.
yeah, and then she became agoraphobic at one point.
And I still put that down to the medication she was given because back in the day, GPs or whatever, I don't think they had a great insight on that many disorders. It was like, oh yeah, we'll give you Valium, that's
It was a
fine, that'll
fix-all.
calm
It was a fix-all, wasn't it? I don't think I know any adult that wasn't on it.
about calming you. And I remember our mum always had Valium in her purse when we went out for the day.
Well, didn't Pip the dog break the bottle and eat the Valium? He was off his head for a couple of days.
Yes. But I think that was kind of like her having it in her purse was like a security
Safety.
blanket.
Yeah.
It was there, and when she finally came off the Valium, and I don't know whether she did that herself.
She did. She weaned herself off. She really did do that. She weaned herself off. It was like one tablet became 3/4. She'd put in quarters, and she'd take 3/4 of it, and then she'd wean down to half, and then a quarter. That's how she got off Valium.
I can always remember her saying to me, "Oh God, I never realised how green the grass was."
Yeah, because and
that's a huge statement.
Well, can you?
To me,
I mean, what did Valium do to people to not realize and notice how green the things were, how blue the things were? It's like living in a stupor, so to speak.
Well, it is, and we're going back 30-odd years ago.
Yeah.
And I think physicians then didn't have the knowledge. It was just.
I don't think mental health was focused on at all, or.
Not at all.
No.
I mean, any mental health hasn't been kind of recognised, I would say, until the last 10, 15 years. And also,
I mean, if you go back to Nana's time, you were probably classed as hysterical. They used to put that label on women. Hysterical.
I mean, even before Nana's time, people were institutionalised and labelled mad or whatever and kept in mental asylums.
Yeah, I think they do look at things more now, and I think the more the years pass and the more they look into things and they see, I mean, there's lots of different, like the physical manifestations: rapid heartbeat, shallow or rapid breathing, feeling breathlessness, muscle tension, unexplained body aches and headaches, internal stuff in your stomach, bloating, churning stomach, frequent bathroom twitching limbs, trembling. There's a lot of physical things, and that's not even mentioning the mental, psychological, and the behavioural, like avoidance of situations. My mum avoiding going out. Was that at the time she was reducing her medication? We don't know.
But I also know that when I've gone out on shopping trips with her, she still has that medication in her purse.
I can remember her going out. I don't know whether she'd gone to somewhere like Costco or something. They'd gone somewhere, her and John, and she had her trolley, and they were halfway around the shop, and she had to get out. They left the trolley and came home. Now, when I was first sick for a long period, this is going back to Chronicle days, I was 6 months off work with fatigue, and I got to the point when I got to the point when I didn't want to go out of the house, and I found myself in avoidance, and that's happened quite a few times through the years. I found myself in avoidance, so I'd have my coat and everything on, but then I'd go to the toilet, and then I'd sort something else out, and then I was avoiding going out.
Yeah.
But then I used to say to myself, excuse the French, how are you, Christine? Get your fuck on. And
Yeah.
that's like, just fuck everything, just do it. Just get out the door. Just do it. Trigger things can set people's anxiety off. Can't it? I know I can't. It can for me. Like a man in alcohol can be a trigger for me for my anxiety
Yeah.
and me fight or flight kicking in. And
What I kind of think if it's a bit anxiety, and it may sound daft, but if I'm going anywhere, be it if I've been picked up in the car from a friend, get a taxi somewhere, oh my goodness, even within like half an hour or less, I'm backwards and forwards to the toilet. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? You're going to be in your end place in 20 minutes, half an hour.
I like to put a positive thing onto something. So I'll say like excitedly nervous. So I'm getting excitedly nervous about something. So if I'm going, not that haven't been out for a night out for a long time, but if I was going out for a night out, that would be me. I'd be backwards and forwards to the toilet. But that's my internal energy knowing I'm excited. It's nervously excited because I don't know what I'm going to encounter and I haven't been out for a while. But it's what anxiety comes. It becomes a problem when it's overpowering, it's overbearing, and it's continuous and consistent.
Yeah.
And it's when irrational fear comes
It comes down to when you can't
control it. Yes.
That's the thing. And I know when I'm backwards and forwards to the loo and stuff, I always called it a nervous stomach.
Mm-hmm.
An anxious response, but primarily nervous stomach.
Mm-hmm.
But having real anxiety that affects you physically and mentally on a personal level, I don't think I've experienced that.
Well, I can tell you it's debilitating. Like I say, we know my mum suffered with the agoraphobia. When I was sick, the first time when I had the fatigue and stuff, we lived in Cowgate at the time, 6 months off work in the Chronicle. And it killed me because I enjoyed my job and stuff. But it got to the point, and then we moved to Kingston Park. And it was when I was going to go back to work, and the anxiety, literally the anxiety, I was on and off the toilet, I was feeling sick, my body was trembling, I felt as if I was sweating, and even as I was walking up, I was feeling, to the mirror, I was thinking everybody was looking at us, like not in a good way, all of those things. It was irrational, totally irrational the way I was feeling. I felt that all the way, but like I said, I had to get me fucked on to get out the door to do it, but I was still feeling it. I'm still feeling it, but I'm still going into it. But I was okay by the end of the day. And I think what I've learned through for me, what I've learned is to look at what is it? What's making me feel like this? I know I've got to sit and breathe. I've only gotten to the point of hyperventilating once, and I had to do a bag in a brown bag. Because I couldn't. It was awful. But you've got to look at what is making me feel this way. What am I thinking? And that comes back to what you started with. It's stop.
Yeah.
There's another one called rain, but I like stop. Stop. Take a pause, take a breath, observe your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Are they real? Are they factual? If not, what's the problem? If they are, can you change anything? Proceed in a different direction. If your thoughts are something that's in the past and you can't change anything, you can't do anything, or it's totally irrational, change your thing, change habits. And breathe. You knew I was going to come in.
Yeah,
You're stopping and
and,
breathing is just,
and that sounds so easy, but it's not easy for everyone. Because some people, you've got anxiety and you've got severe anxiety, which is a whole world of difference. With anxiety, yes, you can talk to yourself in the head and go, it's almost like behavioral therapy. Right, stop, think. What's this? What's that? What's that? And moving past that. Somebody with severe anxiety,
Karen,
they can't.
the most severe time of my anxiety was when I was getting counselling for my trauma. We're not going into the trauma, you know the trauma, childhood trauma and stuff. I was getting home, I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't stop crying getting back from this GP. How I got back, I still can't even remember. I would pull the phone plugs, out of the wall because I didn't want the phone ringing. I didn't want to speak to anybody. I didn't want to open the door to anybody. I was going there a lot and trying to raise kids. So it was, at that time, it was hard. But it's like, I guess my focus would have been, I've got kids to be strong for. I've got this to be strong for. So I'd break down when they were in bed, or I'd break down when they were at school, when they weren't there. So I guess maybe it's having a focus to be strong for and then working on self. But I do think some kind of talking to someone about how you're feeling, that is, I feel that's so important. There's got to be someone. And usually it's someone you don't know. Because you can offload. There's going to be no judgment. There's going to be no, oh, wait later. Oh, I haven't got time. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's somebody who's going to take the time to listen.
Well, that's it. And sometimes, like you say, just having someone to listen to you who can talk with and not just talk at. And they're listening to you and not just giving you like generic answers.
Yeah. From a book.
They're listening to you, they see you. And I think that would make a huge, huge difference. And unfortunately, talking therapists, behavioural therapists, and all that, they're on a time scale when they see you. So you may only have half an hour with that.
You've got an hour.
Or an hour.
You've got it's not enough. You've got an hour.
No, it's not. Because if you go to talk to somebody, it takes, even for the first session, it takes about 20-25 minutes to actually bond with somebody. So that doesn't leave that much scope before the end of your session.
I think because if like the NHS, the NHS you get it's still the same as when I got it. You get 6 sessions, 6 free sessions. But your sessions could be one this week. There might not be one next week, might be the week after, or you might be lucky enough to get one the next week. But it's an hour. And like you say, your first session, because it's the first time you've seen this person, well, actually, 5 minutes or so getting to know you, he was straight, the fella was straight into, I had to tell him, and he was writing it down as if like a family tree. Who were the people important in my life, like my family and stuff. So I had to talk about you, our Paul, Tracy, Joanne, Mum, stepfather, my kids, my part, all them things. And I had to say how I felt about each person and how I thought they felt about me. And every single one about how I thought they felt about me, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
didn't. That was my answer. I didn't know. But my point was, I had to go through all that and then come up with all those feelings, and then that pit, and then the hour's gone. So I'm left a wreck by the time I'm leaving and getting home and pulling the plugs out of my phone. Every week you're going in, you've only got that hour. There was no aftercare. So when I talk to people in my on my therapy, I don't think I've got it on my new site yet.
You're left hanging.
But it's up to yeah, it's between 90 minutes and 2 hours, because there needs to be, whether it's your first time or your second time or your third time, you still need that ease in. How's your week been? How you've been doing since last time? All the important things get into your session, and there needs to be that aftercare, doesn't there? That you cannot be letting someone leave your space in a state. I mean, I had 6 sessions, and then I decided, right, I'm going to go and I'm going to study to be, and that's why I did it.
But probably you left it at more state of high anxiety coming out.
Well, exactly, because they're bringing all that out and they're leaving you hanging there, like you've just said. And that was every week. But then I signed up at Newcastle, as you know, and I spent years there training to be person-centred counsellor.
Like I just said, if you've got an hour, 20-25 minutes, just to familiarise yourself. You can't trust somebody within 20 minutes.
And anxiety,
minutes,
and your anxiety in that situation, especially your first one, is right with you. It's right with you in that first session.
The height of the anxiety actually going in to the meeting for the first time could be higher than you've ever experienced, and you need to be brought down from that.
Definitely.
You can't be dealing with questions fired at you.
So, anxiety. Have you suffered anxiety? How did it manifest with you? Physical manifestations, psychological, mental, behavioural, avoiding situations, people, places, things, to not feel the feelings that you have. In my opinion, for me, it took a lot of learning, but it's facing why am I feeling this way? What's in my mind? What's in my thoughts? Writing it down on paper, seeing it for real. Is this fact, or is this something that's just in my mind? But talking therapy, I think, and with a qualified therapist that you gel with, like Karen says, building a rapport, it can take a bit. But if it's someone that you gel with, you feel the energy almost straight away. Karen, last thoughts?
Finding your person who you can actually discuss this with without feeling it's a problem.
Yeah, and breathe, folks, breathe. And remember, anxiety is a natural human emotion characterised by feelings of tension, worried thoughts and physical changes like increased blood pressure. It's the brain's internal smoke alarm. It's designed to trigger the body's fight or flight response to protect you from perceived danger. But it's when it gets overwhelming or persistent or disproportionate to the actual threat that it starts disrupting your life. Seek help. Breathe. Till next time.